Welcome back to the Dataliction Podcast. Travis, I'm grateful to be back here again with you. We've had lots of guest episodes all around AI. Boy, we are very excited about AI. I'm looking forward to diving into some data here pretty soon, but it's good to see you, Travis. Good to hang out here in your library and everything. Amazing.
Yeah, no, I am so excited. The amount of shift and change that is happening, the conversations that we're having with businesses now that all focused around this new way of AI has been such an amazing journey. And John, I love the conversations we've been having.
Yeah, every single one is about AI. Every single business is thinking through what does it mean to be a business 5 years from now? Because we've seen the change, we've seen the shadow AI and all these things we've been talking about. Looking forward to this report. We're going to look at the Forrester report from 2025 on AI strategy here in just a moment. But yeah, it is an exciting time. It is a scary time as well. Speaking of scary, I was just telling you, so me and my wife like to watch at least one new scary movie a year. You're not fond of scary movies,
No,
correct?
the deepest scary movie that I ever watch is Ernest Scared Stupid.
I've never seen that one.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Is it a comedy or?
It's like, like the old Ernest movies.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my goodness. Like Ernest goes to the army. This is totally back in the 80s.
Okay. Well, the 80s were great.
So 80s and like early 90s.
Oh, even better.
He was like a slapstick comedian.
Amazing.
But that's about as scary as far as I get to that.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, right on. There was a Netflix movie called A Hubie Halloween with Adam Sandler that was really fun. And it kind of harkened to the 90s vibe of silly. This movie that we watched was not silly, very scary, but we're in spooky season right now here in October. That said, hard pivot right back to AI. Everyone is scared, it seems, or way out of touch in their ambition of what they think AI is going to do. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about the fear that people have about AI and why you and I are so excited about having conversations. We've helped people get through that fear already, just simply helping them to calibrate what is AI, what's not AI. And I mean, Travis, fundamentally, why do you think people have shown themselves as so scared of AI?
Yeah. So, okay. This actually is funny enough. I was working with an executive, I think it was just yesterday. And when I was talking with them, they're actually going through this shift. So this whole organization is going through this major shift. They were kind of a small company, but now they're becoming much larger. They're growing. They're now almost in the 50 million ARR range. They're growing rather rapidly. And they're like, man, Travis, like everything's just slowed down here. And like the way it used to be, it's not like that any longer, like where we could make decisions and people had a voice. And I said, the reason what you're experiencing right now is you're experiencing the shift from people thinking about creatively of new and exciting things to test to how do I continue to save my job? Mm. And that is a huge shift culturally into I need to go as a company gets bigger, I need to go into protection mode. And I need to be able to save like my own salary, my own job, justify my own worth. And that's almost the same way that we're seeing across the board on AI. Is that people are now coming to it and thinking, oh, is it going to replace my job? Instead, they should be thinking how this is going to augment their job.
Yeah, I hope they would. Now, their fears are not unfounded. The reality is you have very large corporations making very inappropriate reductions in workforce, in my opinion.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's just, that's not the way to, I don't get it. The fact is you can leverage technology to take your current team who already knows what they're doing and make more money off of them instead of somehow removing them, making people learn new things. It's just to meet, the stockholder and the numbers and everything.
I mean, we had I know of another competitor right now that did do that workforce reduction. And we're like, yeah, we'll definitely take on because we're like, we'll take on some of those employees
Mm,
from the workforce. We're like, yeah, these people are, they've got great skills. They understand the industry.
yeah.
And now that competitor is clawing back. It's like, oh, we cut too deep. We cut too far.
I know who you're
And-
talking about as well. Feel free to Google it. Anyone who's listening to this and wondering, I'm sure you can find them.
yeah.
It happens all the time though, where because they want to reach their quarterlies or whatever, they're like, well, let's just say AI is going to do it, and then we reduce the workforce. But back to the fear,
Mhm.
Travis. It's interesting though. You mentioned people holding on to their jobs in these institutions, these organizations that are very large. It's everything you just said. You could have taken AI out, and it's still the mentality that people have a lot of times as a company gets very, very large. The larger an organization is, it's so much more about just keeping your job than it is about moving the needle.
Yeah. Funny enough, I actually was reading a report the other day that was saying that large companies are actually adopting AI more than SMBs.
And it makes sense. I
Yeah.
think adopting is probably a loose word that, depending on who's citing it, my guess is, are they spending more money on initiatives?
Oh, 100% they're
Yes,
spending more
that
money
is
on that.
true.
Yeah.
We have, it's not in this report here, Travis, but something we've been talking about regularly. In I think our next episode, we're going to be talking about the MIT report that shows 95% of those AI adoptions, movements, it's not actually getting adopted at all. They're just basically burning through
Mhm.
cash. It's like 95% failure rate, something like that.
Well, here, but let's not get too far into the next episode. But
Oh,
here,
no.
here, what I would love to really let's boil it down. The fear in
Yes.
AI. It really comes to not knowing. There's a lot of hype out there. Meaning, so I go on YouTube. I'm constantly looking for new tools. I'm looking for new agents to build and everything. And I can't tell you how frustrating it is. You sit there and you're like, 3 agents that will replace your whole sales force, or here, buy tickets through this one agent. They'll get you the best deal, or Bitcoin. It trades my own Bitcoin. All this trash, which they have some merit. I will have to tell you, I've actually tried. I've literally went through YouTube videos and be like, okay, I'm going to go through step by step on building this agent out. And if anybody has ever done it before, knows there's always these gotcha moments in there. And oh, well, you actually need to think deeper in this. You need to have this type of
And
software.
we're always looking for it now.
And then you can't even get to the end. You're like, well, this is just broken. It's no longer works. Or the software is out of date. They can't find this. The internet is riddled with, I would have to say, very fake news on what AI can and can't do.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people just repeating the same thing over and over again. You're like, oh, just use make.com or NAN. Or whatever that might be in order to make connections. And they're just kind of stating theories, and then they kind of show you some little plays and everything.
Yeah.
But really what it's doing is causing a lot of fear, because people go on YouTube, they see that, and they're like, oh, I think that's going to replace my job. Look, it's replacing all these salespeople. It's creating my secretary, for me. Okay, guys, it literally just looks at your calendar and says when you can book a meeting. Okay. And then it can send an email out with 3 times.
That's a great point. The tools are helpful, but the way that people talk about the tools is it's magical and creepy and
yeah, it's not going to replace
it's
my
not
assistant.
actually what they're saying so far.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I can have it do all these things. It can do tasks.
Yes.
It's very good at doing tasks. Now, can it get some creativity in some of the tasks? Absolutely. I've done it before. I've been able to recreate some of those online videos before, but it's not going to replace the human touch. There's a reason why I have an assistant that reaches out to somebody and schedules a time. It's because it's the human touch.
Yeah, human touch is so important. I push back. I don't think AI is creative at all. I use it as a tool to kind of throw things out. But so I'm a songwriter. I love writing songs. Been writing it since I was a kid, and I have tested all of the limits to help me write music, to maybe just write a song for me. So I'll sit there, I'll play through a melody with my guitar or whatever, and I'll say, hey, here's the syntax of what I want. And all it's trash, absolute trash. I don't think it's as creative as people think it is. I think it has done a couple interesting things. There's a couple AI music tools out there that I've used. They're fascinating, but at the core of this humanity that we know when something is real or not. And I see plenty of people are getting fooled by AI video out there. I think I have
Come on now, Sora 2. Come on.
I've not yet been fooled by an AI video, and I think it's because it's not just the way something looks.
Oh, okay.
There's something
Yeah.
deep inside of us that knows what is real and what is not, what's within context. Now, maybe eventually, yes, but I just truly believe, back to the human idea, back to strategy. I want to get into this Forrester report. I am not afraid. I am interested. And back to the movie idea, I like thrillers. So the movie we were watching was a thriller. What I love about thrillers, and why thrillers are oftentimes more scarier than horror movies, is it's not on the nose. It lets your mind worry the whole movie. Like, what is happening? I don't know what's happening. What's in the dark? Don't go into the dark. And so the idea of fear at its core is the unknown. So, Travis, let's know some things today. Let's look at this Forrester report, 2025 Forrester report on AI strategy. I love some of the data in here. I would love to hear some of your notes. I've read through a lot of the report. One of the main things that I want to point out today is that around 60% of companies who do have AI tools with active licenses are not using it. Now, are they using their own version of it, Travis? That's, probably we can look at some of the data. That was one of my favorite things. Travis, what's your overview on this? Forrester's an incredible data source. So what are some of your top level?
Yeah, what I loved about this is really it goes back to making sure that we use AI as more augmentation to our workforce.
Explain that for people who, to me, that makes sense, because you and I talk about this all the time. What does it mean to enhance or augment, or what does that even look like?
I'm going to give you a really good example.
Yeah, do it.
So once again, I test out a lot of AI tools. I mean, you know this.
I do know this about you. You're like a kid in a candy store.
I know. I
with
love
a $20 bill and no parents.
Exactly. I have to indulge on this. I mean, my family is late at night. I'm like, guys, check this tool out, and then I kind of work with it, and then I'm like, oh, it's not so good. But here's what I mean, and this is the point. So I work with these tools, and I'll get on, like, maybe it might be a new sales tool. And it's like promises the world. It says, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to have our agents are going to reach out, and like we're going to get you lots and lots of leads, which in some cases it does.
Yeah.
But guess who follows up with me on an email or on a phone call? It's a human.
Oh.
Every time, like even some of these really large like AI companies, I'm on the phone with a human when I'm doing a Zoom call or their sales call. And I said, hey, why aren't you guys augmenting this and like having a voice bot or something like that? And they said, well, we find that people don't really respond to the voice agents as well as if we just get on the phone with them.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, that's really interesting, because you're selling that service. So we're not necessarily even drinking our own champagne on this, but here's where it did work. It did work on experimenting out different email campaigns. It did work on experimenting out different subject lines. It worked on developing out copy for them. There was this one agencies, it took them over 30 emails in order for me to actually engage with them.
30 emails.
I went back through and I saw all the different emails. It took them 30 times in order for me to engage with them. But once I did, it was a real person.
Yeah.
But they had somebody, think about that. Like, would your team, and is your team writing 30 emails with different subject lines, different images in there?
Yeah, that's a good point. Iteration is beautiful in terms of AI, where you say, hey, here's the general concept, give me iterations. I appreciate that. For me, in terms of enhancement, I love communicating. I love writing emails. You've known that about me for a
Oh,
long
yeah.
time. I love the bullets and the bolds, and I love formatting emails and all these things. I love talking. I love longer emails. I'm a longer email guy. I like to be very thorough. That said, it takes a long time to use my fingers to type in correct grammar and in punctuation and all. It just takes longer. I'm not a very fast typer as well, but what I am really good at is communicating a clear linear thought process. So where I'm being enhanced personally right now with AI is I transcribe a lot of my emails. Now I go back in, I clean them up, I reformat them, but I have a particular thread that simply says, listen to me. Don't change my words. Just literally, please put this into paragraphical and email format. So I'll say, hey, Travis, thanks for connecting with me today. And I just talk out my whole email like I would be writing it. And then lo and behold, once I'm done talking, I can generally copy and paste it over with minimal time. It saves me around 50 to 75% on how long it would take me to write an email. Travis, is my email more valuable because I use my fingers versus my mouth on this email? No. I'm just gonna answer for you right away. No, it is not. So anyway, that's the way that I like to enhance. Back to your point on augmenting, enhancing. You're saying that was one of your exciting things that you were seeing in the Forrester report. What are some of the other high level things that you saw that were exciting, maybe concerning?
Yeah, well, the other part of it is that over almost 3/4 of the U.S. workers don't trust AI as being used responsibly. So, meaning that
So is that like the companies that have hired those organizations, or is that the employees proper? Like the actual who is this stat again?
so basically saying that the workers don't trust businesses that use AI responsibly.
Interesting.
So think
Hmm.
about it this way, and we've gotten this before,
Hmm.
like in some of our meetings and stuff. They're
Oh,
like,
I see where you're going. Yeah.
"Oh, you used AI in order to like uh go through our meeting notes and
Yeah.
have all this
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end, and you used AI as the email follow up
Yeah. For like in Zoom summaries.
or
And all,
Zoom
yeah, yeah, yeah,
summaries."
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Well, yeah, because
So why does that invalidate it?
like we still talked about the same thing."
Yeah. Are the notes accurate?
Yeah, is it? You don't want to be held accountable.
Yeah.
That's what I find
Very typically, y- I see that. There's another thing, Travis, I just saw. I'm going to go on a tangent here for a second. But so again, I am someone who's been writing really great emails. You can ask any of my teammates, any of my employers. I write great emails, Travis. Long, great, beautiful emails that I've been told in the past. It's like, man, you sound like a computer when you write. Well, guess what, Travis? I can handwrite those, and people now think it's AI, and they won't listen to me, even though I hand wrote. It's like, no, I didn't use AI this time. I purposely hand wrote it because you complained to me.
You know what I've started doing? I've actually started not correcting all the grammar in
Yeah,
my
just
emails.
make it messy.
Like, because I'm just like, well, I mean, and even like short, quick responses and stuff. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave like the little I in there, and it's just gonna, because people are like, oh, well, that's a real person.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
my goodness, like we're just kind of AI is talking back and forth, and you're, that's not it.
It's like the ripped jeans of email now.
Oh, it's a good
It's like,
point.
jeans first come out and they've got to be nice and all this. And all of a sudden, some kid somewhere has got ripped jeans, but he's the cool kid. And so everyone's like, we just like ripped jeans now. I wonder if people will prefer bad grammar and spelling and everything because they know it's human now.
It's human now.
I hope
You
not.
know, that's really interesting. Well, okay, here's some things that in the report that I thought was really fascinating being outlined. One is we talk about AI, but we don't talk about necessarily the purpose for it. So,
Mhm.
meaning that the purpose that the employees will have afterwards.
Mm.
And so basically it's saying, give employees a reason to care about it and bring them into the process as really co-creators and not just really end users. And that is really impactful because you want people to come alongside. And just like you were talking about email reports or maybe end of the day meeting summaries and
Yeah.
such, like people feel like they're getting replaced, but they're not, because they have not been invited to the party.
Hmm.
And so as leaders, we have to invite our people into the conversation instead of saying, use AI and figure out how to replace your job.
Mm.
No, we need to figure out how we can make your job easier and better so we can have those real human connection points.
Yeah, the human connection is so important. Forrester points out, I don't remember what page it's on, too many leaders engage in satisficing. And so satisficing is this idea that the board, rightfully so, has seen that AI is the next thing. The board goes to the C-suite. The C-suite just smiles and nods and goes and picks the bell and whistle that they think, and then they pay that team to implement it. Their team then has some edict. Now, not only is it not helpful, it's a new way to do this thing. I got to learn this new tool. I don't trust this new tool. And then there are 6 questions I wanted to make sure and just read verbatim that is going through the mind of the employee based on this Forrester report. So these are all the questions that they say. Am I confident I can adapt to using AI tools at work? Do I have the skills, understanding, and ethics to use AI? Will AI steal my job? Is AI worth the time I need to invest in learning it? What's in it for me? And then I love this one. Am I overconfident in how well AI works? So even then, people that are excited about it, then all of a sudden start using it, and then they're worried, wait, am I trusting it too much? So,
Well,
no,
I mean,
take it
you
away.
think about trusting it too much. You basically was considered AI slop now that we're starting to see in the workforce.
Which, to the point of my long emails, am having to rethink how I write because now everyone writes these long emails. So how do I cut through the muck of
Yeah,
all that?
yeah.
The slop, AI slop.
It's called AI slop. And I mean, even you can look this up on Deloitte, just going through a bad PR phase with, they did a whole report on this one community. You can look it up. And they're like, it's inaccurate. It sourced wrong sources. It made up sources. And they just copied and pasted it and then just shipped it on. And now this community was like, this isn't really good any longer. And it goes to the point, like employees just can't be like, you know what, I'm just going to chat GPT this and I'm going to, put this on and this report's going to be great. Like we can't do that. We can't rely on it to actually do the whole thing. This is what I love about AI. AI makes experts more experts. So what I mean by that is that you, when you're writing up questions or you're trying to dive deep, just like you as a creator, as a musician, you know what good writing is and you know what great writing is.
Mm.
And so now you're able to take some of those principles that you've learned in writing,
Mm.
and then you're like, okay, well now I can have it do a first draft, and then I can maybe have it do break this out, or maybe I can do some brainstorming on this, but I'm not going to have it write my whole song.
No. Or
So
the whole email or
the whole email.
the whole presentation. It can't
Right.
do that.
Like,
Yeah.
and like, let experts be experts.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
I know several engineers. They're like, well, I have to be an expert in this field.
Yeah.
And I have to know what the right like laws and everything are to it. And it has to be referenced in the right way.
Mm.
So, but AI might get it halfway wrong with it. And so like they have to be experts to it. So
Yeah, the
that was really good.
LLMs, which is large language models, GPT, Grok, Anthropic, they've all got their own versions. They're programmed for 2 big things. First, they're programmed to be like people and iterative tools, which means it's going to give you a different answer every time, which is very inconsistent. It's helpful in certain contexts, which I'll explain in a second, but it's an iterative tool. And then second, it's just designed to appease you and make you happy as the user. So like, we all know this now. At least I hope most of us know this. When you're scrolling through your algorithm, in general, it's either what you've shown makes you happy or what people like you are happy by.
Yeah.
It's one of those two things. LLMs, in a large way, pardon the pun, regarding large language model, in a large way, is just a version of your happiness algorithm. So we have to make sure and understand that. Now, iterative tool, I have found it's brilliant at asking me questions so that I can think with my brain better in a different way. So it can create questions much better than it can create content.
Mhm.
And so, I was working on a presentation the other day, Travis, and I said, hey, ask me every question that you have around this. And I think it popped out like 74 questions that now I'm systematically going through and I'm talking out loud. I'm thinking it through. I'm answering it. I'm like, wow, that's a great question. I'm thinking about this differently because it helped me to have a new question. I do love that. I think it's brilliant. Connected to this, Forrester points out that cognitive offloading risks cognitive laziness and dependence. I
Yeah.
cannot drive anywhere without my GPS. Now, it might be because I'm a millennial. It might be because I'm lazy. I'm willing to own that, Travis. But that said, I don't know which way to turn most of the time. And like, I'm fine with that in this particular vein. I'm not in the car to be smart, okay? I'm just going to be safe and follow the GPS. But when it comes to things that we should stay sharp on, I do think it's a cautionary tale to not just simply, you know, put everything into AI, just take verbatim whatever it's pumping out and just be the AI monkey that's just pumping in, pumping out, that sort of stuff. So I was appreciative of that. Travis, any final thoughts? I want to hear your last thoughts and we'll wrap it up on this particular report. We got lots more to come on this topic for our episodes,
Yeah.
but
So let me put it this way. The main theme that you really, when I was looking over the report, is really about, or what it's not about. It's not about AI as tools. It's really about the trust that you build with your team
Mm,
and how they feel confident and comfortable with implementing such tools.
mm,
But it first starts out with you being a leader that invites people to the conversation and to understand what they can do in their current workplace to make them better and more human, and to what's going to help them set them apart
yeah,
from their competitors.
yeah.
Everybody's racing to the fastest and the shiniest tool,
Mm,
but yet what makes what makes the world turn is human connection.
yeah, yeah.
And I would invite leaders to really focus in on how they have their employees and what they do with their employees to help them like augment their business in a way that makes them humanized again. So that's my final thoughts.
I love it. Thank you, Travis. And thanks to everybody who's been paying attention to our series on AI. We're going to keep it up. It's the new internet, Travis. It's the new websites. It is what every business has to do. And so here at Dataliction, we help businesses grow on purpose. And that's why we've been doing our research for you. Thank you again for joining us for this episode. In case you didn't catch our names at the beginning, because I don't know that I did the proper intro, Travis, my name's John.
And I'm Travis.
And this has been the Dataliction Podcast.